I believe that we've got a positive mindset and we've got a negative mindset, and both of them compete with each other. But they compete with each other only for as long as we allow them to compete with each other. We control the airtime of what plays inside of our head. When you're driving a car and you're listening to a radio station and it's playing a great song because you're in the middle somewhere you don't know, it's playing a great song, then all of a sudden it switches and it starts to play, whatever your most annoying music is to you, like whatever that happens to be. What do? Do you sit there going, ah? How long does it take you to make that decision? Right. You don't even think about it. So we have to have the same kind of mentality. Whenever that negative voice starts to play inside your own head, you've got to have the diligence to be able to change the channel and let the positive voice start to talk again. I quit smoking just over a year ago, and it was interesting to me how, in my opinion, how easy it was. What would happen when I first quit was I swear there was like this little party guy who lived in my head. This is exactly what would occur. So I would wake up and I would do my normal routine, and all of a sudden something would happen. And this little dude would show up. He'd go, "Hey!" I'd be like, "What?" He's like, "I have a great idea." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Let's go smoke." I was like, "No." And off he'd go. And like a minute later, he'd come back. He'd be like, "Hey!" I'd be like, "What?" He's like, "I have a great idea." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Let's go smoke." I'm like, "No." And it took some training, like it really did. It took some training, but it surprisingly, in my experience, for me, it took only a couple of days. And he started to get upset, like, "Hey!" I'd be like, "Whatever, dude, just go away." And he started to leave, and he stopped showing up after about a week or whatever, and he hasn't shown up since, which is just an interesting thing to me, is that you have the ability to change the channel in your head whenever you decide to. So again, point number one is success is a mindset. So really working on being able to be in control of your emotions is something that is, it's paramount for success. For me, it helps me because I picture my emotions to be like little dancing circle of emoticons. Okay, so they're all like little different versions of me. And when the angry guy gets in charge, the only reason that he's in charge is because I let him be. But he doesn't exist if I don't let him be in charge. So he's going to fight for his life to keep me mad. Does that make sense? So he's going to try and recruit. Like he's going to recruit for other things in order to fuel the fire. Stupid things from 10 years ago. He's going to pull stuff out. See, it's not us. It's the little dude, the emotional guy, right? When you're fighting with your girlfriend, it's not us that pull up stuff from 10 years ago. It's him. It's true. They are unbelievable recruiters. And so by looking at it that way, it gives me a lot more ability to control the fact that I choose who's driving. And I want the ones to be driving that are going to make sure that I am in the most productive and capable and able state to create the type of life that I would want. 99% of all people give up on their goals before they start. I read that statistic somewhere. I don't know where it was, but the thing that strikes me about that is the sadness that it's a reality. And I think that reality may have been right at the time that book was written, but I think that today, with the amount of people that we have exposure to and access to, and the way that technology makes the world so much smaller, and how we realize that we have so many more options, that statistic should be changed. And it should be changed with intention by us. Because if just this room decides that we want to start to set some goals and we'd like to actually go after them and hit them, and more than 1% of us does, then we just did theoretically change that statistic. So statistics that are written in books, in my opinion, are expired. The statistics, if we would like to create a new life, that's up to us to decide to do it. There's two studies that I read recently that were very, very interesting. One was called The Secret Life of Plants, and one was called Messages from Water. Messages from Water is a study done by a very, very well-known Japanese scientist named Masaru Emoto. And what he does is he examines if you project positive energy towards water or negative energy towards water, and what happens to the water as a result of absorbing this energy. And then he records the way that the water molecules look once they freeze. The water that freezes, that's been subjected to anger, it looks like, you can compare it to the way that a virus looks when a virus is frozen. So it looks very like Dr. Seuss, rah, right? Then he does the same thing. Sound effects help. So then he does the same thing, and he projects love towards water, and love and gratitude. And the water, he captures the image, and the image is one of the most beautiful images of a snowflake-looking image. Like it's extraordinary, the difference. The Secret Life of Plants is another study that was very similarly done. And what they did is they took a bunch of plants and they put them inside of a room, and they had some kind of scientific reading machine thing that detects stuff. And then they had people walk by, and they had people walk by projecting positive energy. There was one person who, when he walked by, he grabbed one of the plants and he ripped it up and threw it on the floor and left. And they recorded this insane reaction from the rest of the plants. And then this same guy walked into the room and all of the plants reacted immediately. It's just interesting. So it's interesting to me that if when we project that much negative energy towards just water, that water has a physical change, and us as humans, we're made up of what, 70% water? Do our thoughts have some type of a physical manifestation on our bodies? A whole group of girls that are in like grade 7, they all just start to wear lipstick when they leave home, and their mom can't see it, and so they wear it in school, and they kiss the mirror every single day in this bathroom. And lipstick is just a nightmare to get off of the mirror. And the janitor is really, really frustrated, and he's upset about the fact that he constantly has to go and clean this mirror, and he doesn't know what to do about it. So he goes and he speaks to the principal. The principal goes to the classroom. The principal speaks to the class and says, girls, we need you to stop kissing the mirror. What do you think happened? Yeah, nothing. Nothing happened. They kissed it more. Now, not only was there kisses on the mirror, there was little messages on the mirror. There was written stuff with lipstick. There was more. So the janitor went to the guidance counselor and said, I don't know what to do in order to fix this issue. What should we do? The guidance counselor says, let me go talk to the girls. So she goes and she sits down and she talks to the girls, and she talks about, the plight of the janitor. And, she kind of got more, alongside of them on a female-to-female level. Nothing happened. So the janitor instead said, you know what, I'm going to talk to some of the top girls and see what I'm going to do. So he picked out, the girls that look like the ringleaders. He was like, come on. They come into the bathroom. He goes, I don't know what to tell you. I want to show you how hard this stuff is to clean off. He goes, you guys kiss this every single day? He goes, I'm going to show you exactly how long it takes me. He takes his mop, he dips it in the toilet, and he cleans off the mirror. What do you think happened? Make the invisible visible. It's amazing what you can influence.